Hello there, welcome back for more Haskell live streaming. Plan for today is to pick up adding accounts, not user accounts, but bank accounts to the PayMe or PayM app. So at the moment we have ledger entries and it's just a list of things that happen. I want to start associating those with particular accounts. So you can say, these are things that happened for this particular account. Should be a good place to do it because we got, or I got, but we did it together. We got migrations working last week, so I can, I've finally moved everything to Haskell. So I should be in a good position to start adding more stuff to the database, and then we'll have a look at adding it into Serpent as well. So that's the plan. Let's get going. So I left off last time I created this dummy migration to test the errors. So we got some nonsense at the end. But delete the nonsense that we don't need. This is roughly right, I think, for accounts. So it'll have some kind of UID. That's like the internal ID of this account. It'll have a name, so you can identify the account, like John's current account, whatever. I'll add a created at as well to it, so we know when it was opened. There would be other things normally. There'd be some kind of routing number on there, so like an account number or an IBAN or something like that, so that people can send money to it and we know who it's for or which account it's for. And there should be an owner of this account as well, but I don't think I'm going to do owners yet. So I'll do accounts first and I'll come back and add the association with owners as well. But that should be enough to get it started, so we can have a list of accounts and then we can go to a particular account and we can see the ledger entries inside there, which is really just a list of things that happen inside the account, like depositing money and withdrawing money. Okay, so hopefully this migration will work. Let's find out. So I should be able to run cabal run, yeah, migrations, that's what I wanted. Okay, source that, cabal run migrations, all migrations run. Cool. Okay, UID gen, let's grab an ID and we'll create some seed data for this as well. Oh, there's another thing actually. So in the ledger entries, I'm going to have to update this as well, I think, so that we add a link back to the account from here. Yes. Okay, so in here we'll have 003 add account ID to ledger entries. SQL. And here we'll say alter table ledger entries. Let's column account ID UID. Can put references at this point. I can't remember how to write SQL anymore. Or do I do it with an index? You know, I'll come back to the index later. Let's do it without an index for now because we're not going to have very much data. Okay, so yeah, okay. I do want the reference though. I'll look it up. PostgreSQL add column reference. Just give an example. We add a constraint. So alter table, add column blah, and then a constraint on that. Okay. I should put a not null in here. then we'll say constraints. Ledger entries, account ID, foreign key, preferences, accounts, is that what it called it? Yeah, accounts ID, on update cascade, on delete cascade. I think that's what I want. So I can find fish and run the migrations. Okay, maybe the constraint is part of the alter. Yes and no. Ah, okay, we have some data in there which we can't have. Which is fine. I'll just delete the data because there's no situation which you want account and you want ledger entries that don't belong to an account. I don't think. Not in this app anyway. Not yet. So delete from ledger entries. Okay, so that's the migration. I'm going to get a different UID. Let's look at the seed ledger entries. Okay, so let's rename this to 002 ledger entries because we're going to want to create the accounts first. So we'll have 001 accounts.sql. And we'll say insert into accounts, and we got ID, name, and created that. Values, and then that. The name could be test account 1, and the created that will be now, hopefully. And then we'll grab this again, and we'll go to the ledger entries. So now we want to insert into these, but also account ID. I might actually create 2 accounts. So I'll do that a couple of times, and then I'll create an entry that belongs to a different account. Oops. Here, after date time, I want account ID. And here I want account ID, but I'll do it on a different account. So new UID. Just notice I called this 2 as well. I'll fix that in a second. Insert into accounts, ID name, created that, and its values, that. I will call this test account 2. And now save that, rename the file 001. Okay, so now we go here and say compile run migrate seed. Right, so I double coded the strings, and I think that's why everything broke. So this thing should be that thing. And then this one I've missed out the ID for the account. Right, nothing, also did a created wonderful output. But anyway, seems to be good. Okay, so I'll run pay me. Okay, we have these, but we're not getting the account ID back. So let's go and add that. So where is this going to be? First of all, we got in the DB, we have ledger. And that imports ledger entry from here, which has not got an account ID. So we should add that in, I think. In fact, let's just do that first. I'll change the API so we get accounts back rather than getting ledger entries, but let's start by just adding account ID into here. Nope, not that. Okay, and I don't really want to pass in just another UID into here. I actually want to pass in an account. So let's go account DHS, and Cabal's going to get upset. So in here, here maybe, in the library, account. Module account where, and we can say data account is account, and in here I've got an ID, which is a UID, and it's got a name, which is text, and it's got created at, which is a UTC time or something like that. What was it? Oh, not there. Ledger entry. UTC time. UTC time. I'll import those. Okay, and we will export it. And we'll derive some stuff. And we want show equal, we'll want generic at some point, I think. Do we have that on the ledger? Yes. Import that. And deriving any class, we're going to need these, so we'll stick them on now to JSON and from JSON. Okay, so we have an account, so what I wanted to do was here, take an account, and it's going to be account.id. And then the same thing here. You can't call things ID. You can't call things ID. physical ID. I probably need to import constructors as well, the fields as well. Okay, it's happy when I import the fields. Okay. And then hopefully loading from the database is going to be broken. So we have ID, amount, date, time. I might put it in multiple lines because it's a bit hard to read. Oops, date time goes here. And account ID, which is a UID. There. Okay, now it's type errors. I think that's what I want. I think it's what I want. So here we're going to have another UID, and that's going to be the account ID. And now it's very long. Yeah, we'll just put account ID. Right here. What we're going to do is insert into here. Okay, I'm going to insert everything. So insert into their values, and then $4 is going to be a UID. Returning, and we'll also get the account ID back. Say UID. Okay, so when we pass it in, we want the ledger entry.account ID. When we get it back out again, we'll also get the account ID, and we'll use it here. Okay. That seems to fix all the errors. So in theory, we go back to here and run it again. Reload. Whoops, don't do that. Reload the page. Let's try reload here. There we go. We now have account IDs and everything. Okay, so we now have accounts, and we have a link between accounts and ledger entries, but we're not using it yet. So I'm going to add an endpoint to show an account, and that's going to find a single account from the database, and then it's going to go and find all of its ledger entries. I'm going to do it in 2 queries, I think, because I don't want to super optimize it yet. Maybe ever. So back to our API. So we have list and we have create in our named API, but these are getting ledger stores. Okay, so I'll probably just delete that API altogether, because there's no realistic API where you want to say, show me the ledger entries across all of the accounts. I think what's going to happen is you're going to get a single account back. I'm going to rename this to be account API. And rename this to be account API. So I'm not rename those. So this is going to be getting a single account API and creating an account. This is going to get a single account. Right? Okay, it's either going to be a ledger store.ledger error or ledger entry. Yeah. First of all, it's going to be a single account. And it's not going to come from ledger store, it's going to come from the account store. But it might not be a single account. But I'll start with a single account, but it's probably going to be an account and some ledger entries. The create endpoint, I'm actually just going to delete for now. I'm not going to create it yet. And I'm going to ignore the new type thing. Okay. So ledger store, let me work through this actually, because I can't write this until I can have an account store. So I'm going to create a new thing, which is account store. And again, I need to put it into Cabal. It's going to be module account store with some stuff where, and then I'm going to do this again. But actually, I might use effectful th. So I've been through the process of writing an effect out by hand, which is cool. Effectful th. Is this a separate package? Yes, it is. So I'll need to add that to Cabal as well. But somewhere in here, I think there's an example of using it. I thought I had an example in here. Can I find it? No, I cannot find it. Maybe it's not in here. I've forgotten where it comes from. But the README for here is exactly the same as the README. Oh, give me an example of using it. Make effect. Right. I think that's what I want. So back to account store, something like this. So data account store effect where so this is going to be get account. So type ledger store, not ledger store, it's going to be account store. Oh, look, I just write MA. I don't think I can write that. Oh, you'll have to take a UID anyway. MA to account store M of A. It's going to need to do some I/O. Will it? don't know actually yet. Okay, I'll fix the module name first. That's a good idea. Okay, and then if I go to here again, I want effectful th and some version 1002. So I can go and download it. But it looks like I can create some effect. Have I got this right? Yeah, effect. And I can give it an operation. And it should work stuff out for me. Parser module header. Get rid of that for a second. I can import that, and I can import this. And it doesn't seem to like this. Why does it not like it? Import effectful.th make effect. Oh, hang on, E doesn't work. Account store. But it still doesn't like it. Okay, my attempt to be quick with effectful hasn't really worked. Effectful th example, please. I'm sure in one of the examples I saw they gave an example of writing it with th rather than writing it out by hand. It was called make effect. I was just saying it can be generated by make effect. Okay. But I'm an example of that. No. Well, that's annoying. So I could write it out by hand, I guess. The dispatch of account store is dynamic. That's the wrong dynamic. It comes from dispatch of, I think. Where does this dynamic come from? It comes from summing in effectful. Oh, it comes from dispatch. But that wasn't an option for the import, annoyingly. Dispatch. Yeah, get rid of that. And then we go back to ledger store. I'm going to copy the next bit, which is this. So it's not load ledger, it's going to be get account. And then it's got call stack, it's got account store. It's going to be either load account error, I think, or a single account. Right, and get account here. Then we send get account. So it should be get account error. What's going on? Okay, import all the things. Probably from there. This should come from effectful. Account should come from here. F should come from effectful. And then get account error. I'll copy the definition from wherever I wrote it. Where is that? There's not much in that one. Anyway. So instead of load ledger error, it should be get account error, and it should be get account error. And we'll import generic, and we'll import this. And send now will come from dynamic or dynamic dispatch. Okay, because it takes a UID. Is that what's wrong with it? Where are we now? Ledger store. Let's go back to the accounts. Oh, the effect, sorry. No, let's source it here. Take it back. Okay. So create ledger. You need to put this type in. So it's going to take a UID and then do that, I think. Put this error in the middle. That's not helpful. So let me go back to here. Here I said load ledger. So it's going to be get account, goes to UID to account store M, and then the A in this case is going to be either a get account error or an account. Okay. And we will export get account. And right, we export from here various things. Can I export it? No, I can't. I have to untype it. So we'll also export account store. Okay. So we have an effect with a single operation in it to get an account, and then we haven't implemented it yet. So I think one of these. So run account store IO. It's going to take a connection. It's going to take f of account store. And then we're going to say run account store IO. And we need to enable lambda case. Right. So we have get account. Oh, a few things going on. Let me import this. Let me import connection. Okay. We don't have create. I'm going to take a UID. And then what we're going to do, write an actual database layer. So this is just the effect, but we also need the database. Let me import interpret. It's not going to be load ledger error. It's going to be get account error. We'll need to import lift.io, which we can do from effectful. Right, and now we want account DB dot get, and it's not a connection. It is. Oh, it will be the connection, but it's also going to be the UID. Okay, and then we want to export this. So account DB. Do we have ledger DB? Yes, we do. Back to the cabal file. So got db.ledger. We also want db.counts. I think. Where are you going? Source db. Oh, that didn't go well. Source db counts .hs. So that thing again where it won't let me create a thing. Here I go to ledger. And let's move it there for some reason. Module db.accounts, where I want to export some stuff from it. So here, I don't know why the connection is still in there. Well, I moved it into connection. I did, so it can go from here. Okay. Right, let me just grab a whole example. I can drop into here and then just change things to say account. So this is get. It's session.run get session. And then this is get session. And it's a session that returns an account. Change that as well. So it's either going to be session error or an account. And it's not list statement, but it's going to be get statement. I think get session needs to take an argument. Yep. So it's going to take a connection and it's going to take a UID and then run it. And this is also going to take a UID. All right. Yep. I'm going to put it here. UID, and then this also takes the UID, and it returns an account. And then most of this is wrong. But anyway, let's start fixing some of the errors. So we'll import the connection, we'll import UID, import session, import the account, we'll import the session and the statement. Okay. And import that. A lot to import, isn't there? Pro functor RMap. Oh, it's not on RMap though. It's is it dimap or bimap? Can't remember. I can have a look. Dimap. Pro functor. Okay, vector we'll need as well. To ledger entry. Now where was that? So this is actually going to be to account. Okay. And an account has got a UID, got some text, it's got a time, and it returns an account. So text I'll import. See, time I'll import. Okay, so now we've got a name and a create to that. Since notice I mixed up my underscores and non-underscores, but anyway. And it's going to create an account. In the middle for a second. So I need to add the constructor. It's got a UID, it's got a name, and it's got created at. Okay. So I'm going to select the name, which is a varchar. What can I do with text? I don't know. Got a date time. I'm going to grab this from accounts. I'm blank there. Hi, Jonas, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Everyone that is, welcome. Jonas, I saw your comment on one of the earlier videos, which was interesting because it was effectively suggesting part of what I did in the next video. So I'm glad the intuitions matched there. It was reassuring when someone else suggests something similar. Okay, what was I doing here? The die map. That's got an extra trailing comma. I'll put something there in a second. It's not vector to the list. Ah, this is not a vector statement. I don't need the vector, it's a singleton statement or something. Singleton statement. Okay. So now you just get the tuple back, I think. So many errors going on here. So, could a match type account with actual type UID char account? Okay, let me just drop a hole in there because I don't know what I'm going to use yet. What do you know about the hole? Oh, that's unreadable. It just knows it's a type account. Maybe the singleton statement isn't what I want. It looks like it doesn't return anything. Okay. So is there some kind of head? Couldn't match type char with text, so can I just write text here? Well, look at that. Okay, vector head is not a safe thing to do, so what I really want to do, I think, is it's not a session error I want here, so maybe it should actually be maybe an account because it might not find it. I'll feed that back in. And then back up here, it's going to be maybe an account. What's the problem here? Okay, much type. Oh, I'm missing a thing. Oh. It should be session.run. Oh, get session. No, it should not. Oh, elements to this are session.run. It takes a connection and returns a session error A. It's a connection. What's to do with the UID? Takes a connection, it takes a UID, and I'm going to call get session UID with a connection. Okay, to account. It's going to return that. Okay, but it might get called with nothing in it. So we get a list of values back of tuples, convert them all into accounts, and then we want vector dot, it's not quite head because we want the third version of that. So Google, can we go from a vector of A to maybe an A? Head M. Oh, is the M there for maybe? No, it's it for monad. Why is this useful? No, it's not useful to me though. Head, the first element. What? We get it, but it doesn't exist. Not very helpful. Okay. Import data.vector. We can say A is vector dot from list. Can you do that? How do you create things? Construction. Oh, Vita empty is actually good enough. I don't want to have anything in it. And that's a vector int, let's say. Okay, so the type of A is a vector of int, and what else can we do on this that's safe to do? Can we ask it for length? So we can ask for the length of it and the null of it. So null A data dot vector null of A is true and the length of A is 0. So now if I call head of A, I get an exception. Okay. In that case, let's write this. So we go from vector of account to maybe an account. So we'll just use a guard, I guess. We can say vector dot null of V is nothing. Otherwise, it is vector dot head of V. It's just that. Okay, we haven't told it how to get the UID into here yet. That was also something I can grab from here, from the create. I haven't used a where clause yet. I'm going to guess you'd say where. And then is it going to be ID equals $1 of type UID? Doesn't look like it. So what's this? This is oh, what's the name of the thing I'm using? My mind's just gone blank. Database library I'm using is hasql.th. did I put the where in the wrong place? It's stupid as that. Yep. Okay, so now we don't want to do anything here. That's not good enough. Okay. That works. Oh, it's not const ID. What an idiot. Okay, so calling things ID has eventually caused me problems. So I can say prelude.id and then drop the bracket. Okay, so we're going to export get. So hopefully that's enough now that I can get something back from the database. Then we go back to the effect here. Import DB accounts as account DB. Couldn't match, maybe account with account. Okay. So this is saying we either get an A or B and we return either a C or a B, and it's just unpacking and showing the error if we have one. And if we don't have an error, then oh, it's not quite that. So we also take a function. What's that function? Get account error. String to C. Oh, sorry, the function here, right. So it shows, oh God, okay. So it shows the session error. We get session error back, something like that. We turn it into a string. We then turn that string into custom type, and then we return it as left. So that's what this is doing. Or the case I'm actually interested in is the right here. So what we want to do, I'm just going to add another function here, which is map. In fact, I might just return them maybe all the way. Let's do that. So you go to the account story, you try and get something, and it might not get it for you. So that's a maybe account. And then here, we're all good, I think. Okay, so we now have an account store which will provide a function called getAccount and an implementation of this effect under run account store IO. So back to API. There's a lot going on here. Okay, so it's either going to be account store get account error, or maybe I'm exposing all the internals here to the outside world. I probably want to tie that up at some point. Don't really want to use new type, but I might as well. Okay, let me import account store. Oh, account store, not export get account error. It does now. Okay, that's what I wanted. Right. So this is the API. It's not going to take a ledger store, it's going to take an account store. I'm going to get rid of the ledger store for now, if I can find it. We have a get here. We don't have a create anymore. It's not listing ledger entries, it's getting account. Not ledger store load ledger anymore. Right, this is not ledger store, it's account store. This is account store, not load ledger, it is get account. Get takes a UID. It does take a UID. I've got to tell it takes a UID. What do those smiley looking operators do? This one I'm guessing. Well, it depends. Annoyingly, there are two things going on here. This operator, they like the colon greater than, in effectful is joining effects together. So what I'm saying is that ease consists of, we put the logger into the list of effects and we put the account store into the list of effects. And then we return something which runs with those effects. I've just taken it out of the API, although I'm about to put it back in. So you'll see it again in a second. Like combining two mono transformers, it's similar principle, but it's ineffectual rather than using mono transformers. But it's the same concept, yeah. Here, I'm going to use it to join parts of the request together. So this is actually going to be capture. We'll give it a name, which is account ID, and it's going to be UUID. And then we use the same operator with a different meaning here. Oh. And what that's doing is it's constructing the endpoint for this API out of these parts. So capturing something and then returning something in this case. It could be more than just a single capture inside here. Right, so get, it's going to take a UID and do that. Does that work? Let's add capture to here, and UID should be that or not? No, haven't imported it. Okay. Right. Okay, so that should be the implementation now. So our get thing takes a UID. Actually split this out into a function. But it takes a UID. Let's do this. Actually, let's say handle get account. Define that because the types are a bit complicated. Paste the definition back in. because I've got to do, I can get rid of that. Okay. Whoops. Let's clean it up a bit. Okay, I'm not going to run this with ledger store run ledger store IO anymore. It's going to be account store run account store IO. Account store dot run account store IO. Here, I haven't told it what effects we have. So that in place. That's too long. Will it separate for me? Kind of. Okay. So these effects, we take UID, we run under F. We've now got enough so we can log and we can get the account. Okay, there's a lot of typing. Let's see if it just magically works. Cabal run Amy, not Cabal. Oh, not quite. Okay. db.ledger is not export that, so that's in main.hs. Must tie this up at some point. Not ledger.connection anymore, but db.connection. Okay, is that really the only error we have? Oh, kind of. Do have another fish shell somewhere. Can't find it. Oh, is it not called fish? Is it called Cabal? Yeah, it is. Okay, let's run it again. Go back to the browser, localhost. Amazing, something's blown up. Oh, nothing's blown up. Sorry, it needs to capture a UID. 734. Invalid UID. Okay, that's good. Let's give it a valid UID. Let's ideally give it the correct UID. So this was in seed accounts. Browser, paste that in. Okay. Column date time does not exist. Oh, okay, cool. I've got, not cool, but I know what that is. So here it's not date time, but created that. And then that was it. I don't have an insert. I'm in the terminal to be API, so I can find it again later. And then look at that. I can now load an account from the database. Isn't that great? Cool. Okay, running out of time. Have run out of time. Next week or next week. Yeah. I'm going to come back and then add. I'm going to load the ledger entries for that account and then include them in this response. That'll be the next part. So we have them linked in the database, but I actually need to load them as part of this API request and display them as well. So that's what I shall do next week. But cool, thanks for watching along. I'm glad I got something working by the end of this. Yeah, hopefully see you next time, and goodbye for now.